Sup guys, Spacey here, and today I'm gonna finally be doing an opinion thing I want to do for a while now. Ranking a bunch of Puyo characters based off this cool ass tier list thing. This tier list was made by Beta Barog, who made the most professional tier list so far. Really great to finally see a good tier list like this. It was trending on the Puyo Twitter stuff, so I think I can instantly tell that this is going to be something with fun opinions and stuff. And knowing how respectful the Puyo community is with opinions, they're going to totally love my takes on the characters. Isn't that right? Well, anyway, let's get started. How should I do this? Let's just pick the character that's in front and see what we have. First, Scalia from Puyo Puyo. It's a character that is one of the many characters in Puyo. Really wasn't all that impactful of a character, really didn't have that much greatness, just a decently funny character that was good for Puyo Puyo and nothing really more. You're going meh tier just because you just generally don't have anything there. Unusual cool alt. Despite there being no lore to him, he still is a really cool alt, and he manages to shake up a little bit of the Iccolo lore, if you know what I'm talking about. And thus, he manages to at least get into the mid tier. Really hope we get lore about him soon, but for now I just generally don't see any coming with Sega's current direction. Anyuko, Onion Pixie's girlfriend thing. Once again, a character that falls in the meh. Really, there's nothing that she has done to deserve going above a meh. She hasn't done anything wrong. She hasn't done anything right. She's just there. Yellow Satan or Unsea Satan. Basically a pretty funny alt. Not exactly what I've chose for Satan's alt, but it's a pretty good choice nevertheless. Really feel like it's a great funny alt. Oh, you're gonna be good into good tier. Myself. Now this is a character that I feel like I've had mixed thoughts on. I kinda used to be a Darth Vader, and I think that's still a good opinion, though I think I couldn't really explain why I was a hater. Nowadays, I can really explain why, as this is probably Puyo's weakest villain yet. Marl could still disappoint, but for now, I think currently Rasolf is going to take the big thing of being the worst one. So why do I hate her, you may be asking? Well, let me just say that first off, she's a recolor. Really not a good thing, as recolors are not good and generally are lazy. The fact that it's an official Sega game seriously hurts how she is. Like, oh cool, opposite version. Like, they could just do so much more creative things with an opposite version of a design rather than just inverting the colors. Woo. At the very least, they could have removed the pendant. That could have made her at least a little bit more special, but woo. I guess symbolism or something like that. But at the same time, though, she kind of has a decent concept going for her. You know, being the evil person who is sick of the Puyo universe, which, if I were to a shitty game like Puyo Puyo Chronicle, yeah, I would as well. The problem is that she's introduced a little bit too late into the story to have any sort of impact. Like, if she's been introduced in, like, the final dungeon of the game, I think it's too late for her to have an impact. Like, I get Sega wants to have a secret, but I feel like she hasn't, they only really introduce her in the final dungeon. We don't really see any, like, other appearances. Sure, we probably see, like, one or two other voices from her, but I think maybe at least getting a good visual of her and possibly getting an explanation of her backstory just could really have helped things. So you're just going mid-tier. I'm sorry. Kikamorta. This maid character falls into the cool category. Didn't really do too much to go above a cool. Just a very funny character. Nothing really more, nothing really less. Oh, the Banshee Trio. I don't get why all three of them are separate. I think all of them are pretty much the same. I don't get why this tier list guy made it all very similar. Yeah, there. I think they're just pretty meh characters overall. Debating on putting them in between mid and meh, but in my opinion, they just don't have enough to stand out from other characters. Like, the trio gimmick seems interesting, but they don't really go beyond with the trio gimmick. Really? Rafine. So, I know there's some Rafine fans in the audience, so thus my opinion of good might just seem like the worst war crime of all time to them. Well, I can explain, though. Rafine had a decent character going for her for Fever 1 to Fever 2. But post 15th anniversary onward just kind of made her more of a role knockoff, which she was heading in that direction in the first place, but Sega originally wanted to take a little bit more ambitious direction, but they just kind of stopped for some reason. Couldn't really, I wish they finally would put more into her. She seems like a character that could really be good for character development in playing the trio dynamic in a unique way, but currently just being the role of the Fever World, the role of Primp, really just feels like the most basic way they could take it. Good, but really, well, Wisp. Another character that falls into the good category. Really, I love the design. It's cute. It's cool. Don't really see much of a character development, but with the lack of unique designs in Puyo games, he feels like a great, cute design. Ocean Prince. He belongs in cool because he's a really decent character, but it's clear that he just doesn't really have much to do. He hasn't really made much of an appearance since 20th anniversary, so that really proves. Ever since Chronicle didn't even really do anything with him either. 20th barely did stuff. He was just there for the sake of being there. Can't really blame Sega for cutting him, even if he did have potential for character development. Cool. Zo, finally, something to put in epic tier. Clearly one of the best characters in the series. He has such good character development throughout Madu, throughout Puyo, a character with him who is very soft, but at the same time is very hard and can be very angry. Also love the stomping sound effects he makes in the battles. Really helps him stand out as a character. So yeah, I overall love Zo for his cool personality, kind of relatable to him, and overall just being a great character. Amity. Sega Enemy fans are gonna hate me. Amity haters are gonna love me. But overall, for this take, because this is probably gonna be the most mid character of all time. Amity, just RO but bland. You really can't get much more blander than Amity. She wants to suck Sig, and that's all I think that she really has to her. She has the hat, but that hasn't been touched upon since 20th. And even then, that was a very brief touch, not exactly something that I could feel like could allow for opening to headcanons. It really just feels like they just had an idea, but just didn't quite know how to execute it. Now, Ashura Bones, the coping character after the fandom exploded due to shipping wars. At least they picked a good character to pick a coping character, because Ashura is one of the greatest characters in Puyo. Not epic tier, but certainly up there to at least a good degree. Really is a character that can hold up on his own. Had tons of interesting development, and is one of the few insights in the Primp's past that we have, really. Really hope to see this character in future games, but knowing Sega, they're not going to exactly put too much effort into putting Fever characters in there. So, yeah. Gonna have to organize this a little bit. Harpy, a pretty mid character. She's there. She's there. I mean, I feel like I want her in cool tier, but I think mid just kind of shows her where she belongs, because I mean, there's a cool concept, and I do love a lot of her humor, but man, she just feels a little bit more like a missed opportunity. Liddell, meh. Only used by Uwe girls to feel, "Ooh, I'm so shy," Really couldn't really go beyond that, really. They have a horn gimmick, but that's the most underutilized gimmick of all time. People want to go, "Oh, she abysses ba 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 ba," when in reality, I think she's probably the most blandest character in the series. One of the most blandest characters in the series. Amity has more personality than her, and Amity doesn't really have that much personality. It's like they want to have a good idea with the character, but it's like they want to take Sig's character and Amity's character, somehow combine it to make an interesting character of their own, but it just can't really have a good thing going with it. Really just doesn't understand where things are coming from. So yeah, pretty meh character overall. Don't get the hype. Thankfully, the hope outside of diehards, her hype has died very considerably, and that's for the best. Klug, or whoever the I should pronounce Klug as. I'm debating if I should put an epic or great tier, because he is one of the funniest characters in the series. He has often provided some of the most energetic performances I've seen out of the Puyo cast. At the same time, though, we haven't really seen that good character development since 15th anniversary, or I think he's one of the few characters who has kind of survived Sega's meddling a little bit. Sure, he hasn't survived too much, but he's at least an entertaining highlight of the series. Very low epic tier or high great tier. I think I'm just gonna put him epic tier. The Frankensteins. Good characters. Interesting dynamic they have. Shame they were cut post Fever 2. The characters, once again, they're just cut post stuff before they really had anything to go off of. They could have made for an interesting character to help balance out the cast a little bit more, but Sega, they gotta appeal to the ooh soft girl fans and the boring Japanese fans rather than go interesting with the characters at all. Taking risks just isn't. Margaro, a character that has fallen severely over the years in my tier list. Used to think he would be epic tier, but slowly but surely I think he's gonna start being cool. Because he just, out of all the Shazam characters, which have decently good character development, he just has the least character development. Feels like he's up there with a mid-tier Fever character when it comes to character development. Really kind of disappointing, because a lot of these characters just seem so much there. He's just the most there guy of Shazam, which Shazam only has 4 characters, so Sega had a lot of room to develop them. Sucks that he doesn't really have too much development. It feels a little Mary Sue-ish, mostly because he's just some epic gamer and cool, but I really hope he just gets something more in terms of character. I forgot the name of the snowman. I know what he is. He's a merchant. I'm gonna probably have to look this up on the wiki for a little bit, so sorry if I forget any of the characters' names. Okay guys, I'm back now. I know what his name is now. It's Parara. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep a list of characters tab just in case. So Parara, he is a pretty cute character in my opinion. In fact, of all the characters that Sega wants to be, oh, so adorbs, like Liddell, like Amity, like, ooh, so cute, really they just come off as annoying. I kind of want to bash their brains in, because sometimes they could just be so annoying at times. Like, yay, going super fun adventures! But this is a genuinely cute character. Look at that smile. Who would diss this smile? I'm debating putting in good character because I'm probably praising this character too much, but it's just too cute not to put in great tier. I'm sorry. Iccolo. You are probably one of the most divisive characters I've had in my opinion. A great character who has tons of manipulating powers. Doesn't utilize them all that much. Good way to get more villains in the Sega cast. But he is just the plot device to every character now. He just is a character that exists and has tons of fun moments, but just doesn't really evolve all that much. Overall, you belong good tier. Our first Tetris character, AI. Puyo Puyo Tetris kind of misused these characters a little bit. They're pretty good, and we got, unlike a lot of other Puyo characters, I'm looking at you, Adele, and others. Looking at you, Adele Meguro. He actually does have a fair bit of character, and we do understand his point. But the problem is, he just doesn't have all that much. Well, he just doesn't really have that much development. That's a lot of the problem with the Puyo Puyo Tetris 1 Tetra Crew, is because they don't really have that much personality. Hope the sequel fixes this by a long shot, because I think that's probably one of the reasons why I want to see Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, because these characters are cool and interesting, but they just don't really have moments to shine. Okay, Dragon. Just overall pretty cool character. He just really wasn't there. Just Scout. He's kind of cute. Chincho adds a personality to him, which, if Chincho's personality adding didn't happen, it would probably be in mid, but I guess since that happened, Chincho and Dragon have a unique dynamic. Cool. Mummy. Mummy just goes in cool tier once again. Another character that I feel like is a really cool and unique character. Though Sega didn't really pick him up like a lot of these characters. Past Parara, Will-Wisp, Mummy. They're just examples of characters Sega just didn't decide to pick up for some reason. Like, they own the characters of their request, but really not something cool. You and Ray. I'm just gonna put them both together because I think I pretty much have the same opinion about both. They're pretty. They're being putting them on cool. Well, I think they managed to go above and go in the good. Now, where's Ray? Yeah, there. These characters are definitely something that I could just say have a good dynamic between each other. Really, really cool. Hey, they're actually funny, which, I mean, sure, I did praise Sega humor quite a bit here, but Sega's humor tended to be unfunny as fuck, but these characters actually managed to stay being funny. They have a unique dynamic that's pretty cool. And it's unique, it's interesting. My problem though is that we just don't really know their backstory. How did they die? Was it via a car crash? Were they bashed in the brains by a brick or something? Was it due to an ancient war that happened and they're just young children that died there? I feel like that would at least provide a little bit more openness to it. That would probably be more above others if they did have more cool stuff. You know, I think, who do I prefer, Rare or you? I don't know, maybe just upper cool tier just seems like a good place for them. Or good. I don't know, I just put them good. Onion Pixie. Interesting. The biggest problem with Sega's anthro characters is that a lot of them just don't talk. Like, Compile's characters also didn't, some of their anthros didn't talk, but a lot of Sega, that's a big problem with Sega. They just don't have their anthros to talk, so thus they end up feeling like space wasters. Kinda glad he got cut off the roster, even if it did ruin the variety a little bit, but I always like understand why they were cut, and I can feel glad that they were, because this character just exists. I really wish he could talk, or at the very least do more stuff with the cast, because he is an occasionally funny character. Overall, Joe, just there. Momomo. I think that's his name. Momomo. Oh yeah, once again, I am very correct on this. Well, it is Momomo. So, what do I do? Where do I put him? I think I'm putting him cool. He's just a very cool and fun character. He may just actually get to develop Madu Saturn. I think I'll put him on good, but cool just somehow fits him perfectly fine. Owl Bear. A character that is pretty good. In the Compile era, Sega did pick him up and add anything more to him. A little sad because he generally did have a little bit of an interesting thing going with him. But it just generally was, once again, a very character just existed. Parara, Sega didn't really find anything new with him, but still a cool character. John, I don't even remember if what his name is 100% so. Once again, all right, Panthony. Panthony is kind of annoying. Falling in the meta tier because he's just annoying. One of the most annoying characters in the Sega era, and in the Compile era. Glad Sega dropped him because he was just so annoying. No character. He's just a dumbass preschooler who just can't do things right. Just very, very obnoxious. Oh, Bird. Now this is an epic tier character. He's still full of energy. Out of all of Sega's characters, this is probably the funniest. Mostly due to his Fever 1 English dub, but smash is a very funny line to me, and I love it all the same. I feel like he's one of the best characters, and really, really underrated. Shame they cut it in Fever 2, because this is a funny-ass character, and I love it. I love the superhero persona. He could be good as some sort of silly guys at the cast in order to do some cool, funny stuff. Hope he makes an appearance sometime later because he seriously needs a lot of love. Now it's this insect dude. I forgot his name again. Nomi. Once again, a very mid-tier character. Just exists. Once again, we're back to characters that just exist for the sake of existing. I think he is a funny character to him, with a joke about being a small fly. I wish he could talk, or at least have some more fun interactions. Maybe be a little pest. That'd be a little funny. That's cool. Fell down a well into high meh tier. She fell down the fell, ouch, each, oof, ow. He fell into meh tier. Now, if you didn't know why, well, she just didn't have any character in Fever 2. She didn't have any character in 15th. It was just Yandere. It's just Yandere Dev's waifu. Woo, interesting. Stalking Lemurs, just really, whoa. Like, I think I'm just gonna put her. I feel like putting her in low mid tier, but I just feel like this character just doesn't really. Yeah, I think I'm just going upper mid because this character needs something more. It's one of the most one-dimensional characters in the series. Since Fever 2, she was always just kind of one-dimensional. They did show hints of her growing character, but man, that character is very, very meh. And just so plain, it hurts. Lemurs, epic tier, instantly. A funny, a wise character that actually is more calm in the series of very energetic characters. Nice way of contrasting from the rest of the cast, in my opinion. I really hope he returns more, and I feel like that thanks to his return, he's going to be a very fun, energetic character. He manages to at least unlock a little bit more of Primp's backstory, which is a really, really underrated thing. And I honestly think that this character is just honestly quite great. It's honestly one of the best characters in the series, and one of the few characters that keep consistent character development as well. Really wish they would keep more of his personality and unlock more about Primp's past, but it's fine as it is. And I don't necessarily see how Sega can go further with him without dropping more info dumps. Zed. Just kind of great character. That's a great character. Good character. I like robots. That's the reason why. His whole healthy thing is not that great, and I think S's Papa thing wasn't really good. But that's more of an S problem than a Z problem. So I just like robots, people. I like them. You go with a list. A Cord. Debating to put her in great or good. Like, I like her character, but she's a little bit too mysterious and boring. And I also hate her Fever 1 English dub. Like, it's one of the most annoying player voices of all time. Like, don't you worry, and whoops. It's like so obnoxious. I just don't like her Fever 1 English voice. Glad they changed it to more Miss Frizzle style Puyo Puyo Tetris' English dub, because that Fever 1 dub was very insufferable comparison. So let's just put her in good tier. Just below everything. Who is this spiky boy? I forgot the name of him. Once again, sorry I'm doing constant pauses, but somebody started. Oh yeah, right. Caesar Demon. Caesar Demon. Caesar Demon. He's an okay character. He's cool. He's rather fun. He didn't really make an appearance beyond Puyo 2, which sucks because he really seems like a character that you could instantly kind of put good, funny stories in him. But yeah, really just wish that he could be more funny and stuff. Think about money. Chopon. Oh boy. One of my most controversial opinion. It's a controversial opinion that I think he's very, very good. Wish they had more character development to him. And I kind of wish that it was all more, that he was more, you know, explored why he wanted to be like an Arrow. But he's just so funny on his own. He has so much potential. And he's so bizarre and wacky that it just fits with Puyo so well. In my opinion, just so wacky, so odd. Really fits Puyo. Really wish we could learn more about him because he just seems like a fun character to learn about. Well, I guess that Puyo age, Mamma Mia, Transishoria, tradition spaghetti, you know, thing just kind of made people distaste him, which sucks because outside of that, he's actually a decently funny character. Puyo. I'm gonna put him in cool tier once again. A character that has potential. And I think I'm just gonna put Darth Vader in good. It's gotta be the only time where I'm really gonna separate these things. Because I love his dark guy concept. I like the dark person concept of him. It's really, you know, I think I'm just gonna put him good in general. It's good that he has a cool puppet-like persona. It's great that we can finally see that he has some actual villainous stuff to him. Really opens up to a lot of Fever War, but he hasn't been used since Fever 1 all that effectively. He was using 20th in the shop quite decently, knowing that he's more of an all-wise person rather than a more blander guy. But at the same time, though, he's really been underutilized. If Sega ever hopes to return more Anthro characters from the stuff outside of stuff like Zoe and How Bird, if they really want to do something unique, they should have Puyo back, because of all the characters I think would probably be good as Anthro characters that would probably be good to bring back, the Puyo just seems like one of the best in my opinion to bring back. Maybe he'll improve in the future in my opinion. But oh, great tier instantly. He's just so funny, cute, and just so cool. He's just a very funny character. Kind of tease Carbuncle. I think that's a pretty. I think he's just kind of cured like Carbuncle, in my opinion. That's because Sega just doesn't really. Unlike Carbuncle, Sega was like, hey, let's actually make something that looks naturally cute rather than artificially Carbuncle. Because I'll explain that more when we get to Carbuncle. But overall, just a great character who is funny and very cute. Zombie, very good character in my opinion. Though I'm putting him in upper cool tier because, yeah, I feel like zombies and Puyo Puyo really need more spotlight in my opinion. Zombies are just very interesting creatures in Puyo. They melt children and stuff, and they are very spooky. And while I do love this Rockstar dynamic, that's pretty funny and cool. It overall really is a character that just needs more. Sukadora. Talk about him improving him in my opinion. Epic tier, instantly. He's one of the most consistently best written characters, not just in Sega, but also Compile era. He's consistently written so well, I'm shocked he hasn't gotten more praise. Because people are always like, oh, Sega's quality decreased, and Compile's quality also decreased in latter half. And I mean, like, Sega just proves that they still had some gist left in them. If they were able to keep this consistently good character Probably because unlike characters like Amity, where they have to go like, ooh, I want them to the big blowy with Sig, and I was like, I want her to be so shy, no character at all. They don't have to deal with any pressure by fans, so thus they could just go all fun with Sakadora and have actual fun character development and take them in interesting directions. They don't have to come with the fan pressure, and that's amazing. It's so fun. Woo! Roll. Roll is also kind of going a good tier. How's the being cool, but good just seems, I don't know. I think I'll just post it here. Rule just is a character that had very interesting character development and is looking rather interesting, but it's just overall that she's missing a little bit of just beyond Puyo Puyo 20th. Because I do like her character. There's nothing that really stands out as amazingly great, the player good, but it's still a great character overall. Just not necessarily something I can exactly say interests me as much as any further stuff. Like, Rafina just seems, if Rafina had more character development, she would instantly go up to great tier, but currently she just seems to be really there. because while she has more character development and actually has a good backstory, I feel like her dynamics with characters is lessened a lot. And I mean, she did have some good stuff with Arl, but that mostly seemed to be gone, and it kind of saddens me. I'm just debating on where to put her, really. I know she's good, but which part are good? I think I should probably just... There, I think that's at least good. I think that's a better choice. Marl, the only character we really don't know. She belongs in cool tier. She seems like a cool mix-up, and not being involved with Icolo, from what I can tell, is a massive improvement and step in the right direction, but she doesn't really look like someone who would really be all that interesting. They know better than Rasalt, but overall not a villain that I feel like I'm too excited for, but I'm interested. S. Another character that belongs in cool tier. Just nice. A character who had some good stuff. And lots of good stuff. Good character development. Very cute design. But it's just a little bit too bratty for me to put above this cool tier. Like, if they made her way a little bit less bratty, I feel like they would at least, you know, put her above and get good tier. But she currently just doesn't really have that much about her. Doesn't really have the martial arts aspect of Rafine and Roll. Just takes the more pompish aspect of them. Works decently well, but overall not something I can really... I don't really enjoy as much personally. Really not that great. Now, Succubus. Where do I put him? He belongs in mid. Mildly interesting design, but really I just don't 100% get him as a character. He just kind of appeared, disappeared. He's okay. Onmodo. I think this is the only non-playable character that I think I could instantly put into cool tier, because he at least, his more shy aesthetic definitely allows for a pretty unique person. He just tries to defend, and he's so cowardly. It's very funny, and it's a pretty cool relationship with all the rest of the cast. Just seems to be a pretty calm and down-to-earth character, which is why I kind of enjoy him to an extent. Very fun and pretty unique. Put him slightly above that. Oh yeah, speaking of which, we should probably put... I don't know, is Human Yoshi Prince here? Oh yeah, there. Yeah, I think he belongs slightly below. Slightly below them. Yeah, Human Ocean Princess is just decent. I'm not even on that. Dark Arrow, pretty mid. Just a huge knockoff of Doppelganger Arrow, who I'll explain more along with Arrow later, but just underutilized. Just was there, Puyo 7. Really, they didn't need to bring back a Dark Arrow. I think they just could have brought back Doppelganger Arrow as some sort of thing, and would have been better. And would have made things way better for her. Because Dark Arrow just doesn't really have anything. He's just evil, woo, spooky, evil. Well, what do you have beyond that? And in my opinion, Dark Arrow doesn't really have anything to go beyond that. Arrow, instant epic tier, because let me tell you, Arrow is one of the most best characters in the series. She's very developed. She has enough snark to have, to defeat her foes with snark, and enough friendship power to have some good dynamics and some interesting friends, and it's all really good. Sure, Sega post 20th made her a little more babyfied, but it's not enough to really ruin the character, especially with such a good legacy under her belt. Like, man, that's really good. Rashugama, great. Very good character in my opinion. Actually has some interesting character development. But he had some pretty good. Some of the best stories in Puyo 7, Puyo 20th, I mean, come from his story. Rashiguma's Puyo 20th story is probably one of my favorites in the series and very underrated. Really wish that he had more fun dynamics. One of the best moments is when he's talking to Liddell and is like, "Hey Liddell, tell me your problems." Then she's like a fucking pussy, so like, and I mean, Rashiguma just can't give advice because she's so much of a fucking pussy. Liddell's so much of a fucking pussy that she can't even talk to him, and Rashiguma's like, "Oh, if you can't talk, just don't do it." It's like a good software moment for Sega and a good interaction, actually, one of the best in the series. Though I don't really like the love aspect, it comes off as very pedo-bearish. Like, there's even a moment in Puyo 7 where Amity touches Rashiguma's fur in Puyo 7, and then Rashiguma's was like, yeah, and that was uncomfortable. That's very, very uncomfortable, but very, very uncomfortable, just very ew. Not a very ewish moment, in my opinion. Overall, though, I think it's above them. Mentors. Gotta protect my ladies. My ladies, I'm a simp. Okay, no, I'm just gonna put him around here. He's a pretty good. I think I'm just going to put him around here. A pretty good character, in my opinion. Just really good and just allows for a very fun dynamic with Roll and friend with Roll, and he's a very nice guy. Don't get why he's so horny and so much of a simp, but he's still a very funny guy. He manages to actually be a good protector, wise man. He just is a so funny character. He's one of the best anthro characters in the series. He's so serious and stuff. Really hope he returns soon because I'd like to see with him talk to the other characters because he's a really cool character and really amazing. Lithope. I think it's Lithope. Let me check for a second. Lithope. Lycanthrope. Just a good character overall. We'll go with cool tier, but his design's so cool and fun. And he has a decent personality for what we know of him. He just kind of goes above the good tier, in my opinion. Just a cool furry boy who just has tons of adventures. Oh, Double Arrow. She's edgy and it's amazing. She's so edgy, she just wants to be so murderous, and it actually has a unique and dark backstory that just is... It's so good, let me tell you. Like, she actively wants to hide her identity because she feels like she's in the shadow of Arl, and it's like so cool because it's like a cool dynamic between the two. And they manage to bounce off each other so well. It's probably some of the best series of dialogue in Puyo history. Like, Puyo N was underwhelming overall, but damn, the interactions between Double Ganger Arl and Arl were just so good that I just gotta put an epic tier. Tetsurenew. You go in cool tier. Just a more simpy, less badass, slightly less character development version of Mentor. Really hope he actually gets a more character soon. He'd probably be in good tier otherwise, but for now, he's just there because he's there. Which, cool. Interesting character development for the Kapow era, but Sega era, they just feel like they're dragging her out. Dragging her out a very, very lot. I'm just gonna put her out here. There's nothing really else to say because she doesn't really have too much interesting. She doesn't even really have a story progression beyond the point. Draco, the most overrated, one of the most overrated characters in the series. just overall character which is cool and very funny, but I feel like she needs to take a break from Puyo. Get more character development, you know? She just needs a break. I think she's funny and pretty cool, but she just needs a break. Like, I feel like her dynamic just runs short after a few games. Like, she's been in longer than Witch. Like, Puyo Puyo is 7 long. And honestly, I feel like by the time Puyo Puyo 20th came around, I was like, okay, we already see enough of Draco to kind of get a good full point of him. We could take a little bit of a break with her. But they don't, for some reason. Kind of sad, but overall, I mean, I wanted to actually put her above Margaro and Owlbear. I think she's at least a good character, though she is very easily overused. Ringo, great category. Just overall a very dynamic character, very cool. Her mysteries of the world just add a bit to the cast. Sure, she's the third world, with one of the worlds being underdeveloped, and one of them being stagnant. But her dynamic system at least adds a lot to Puyo. Satan, epic tier, instantly. He's just so beaming with funny. He's the funniest character in the series. So much energy, so much fun, so much great to him. He just is one of the best characters throughout both Compile and Sega. He also consistently has he's also one of the most consistent of all of the Sega era characters. Once again, due to the lack of fan pressure beyond like a few yaoi ships and other few ships. But other than that, they don't want to do fan pressure, so thus they can do whatever they want with him. He's just so funny and so cool. Sure, the only real flaw I can think with him is in Puyo Puyo Tetris, he just felt a little unnecessary. But other than that, I could say that Satan's one pretty amazing character. Hope they keep him in every game coming forth, because he is a laugh riot and so fun in whatever game he's in. And now, once again, we get to the most gushy character of them all. Sig, epic tier, instantly, #1 favorite character. Okay, gotta explain a little bit more, because some of you guys are like, oh, Sig is only used to do it with Amity, or oh, Sig's just a little bit too bland, and I'm like, yeah, I can definitely agree to an extent, but his development in Fever 2 and 15th Anniversary, like, Fever 2, he just had so much fun. We learned so much about him. He's just super relatable and super amazingly cool. Just so amazing. He just has a lot of character development. He's just a lot of mysteries with him. We learned a lot about him, and he just is so fun and relatable. Of all of them, of all the characters that play, this is one of the ones I relate to the most, and I love the most. I especially love his Fever 2 design, 15th design, and 7th design, because they're all so mysterious and cool. Yeah, he just learned about Sega Fever 2 a lot. And 15th Anniversary, oh god, we actually talk about the hand in decently good ways at 15th Anniversary. And it's so great. And oh yeah, we also forget that we actually get to, because one of the most underrated moments at 15th Anniversary was Sig and Akuma versus battle, because they actually talk about the hand and what it means for the future in the most serious and fun way that allows for a lot of headcanons and a lot of fun. Shocked people aren't talking about the moment, or even Akuma in general, but let's say that for Akuma's moment. But overall, this is one of the best characters in Puyo, but I mean, there's one major flaw to him. Post Puyo 7, they just want, because let me tell you, Puyo 20 onward, they just want to be like, oh, I love bugs, I want to have sex in Amity all the time, I don't have anything more, I'm gonna act like a baby and sit around and do nothing. And I mean, like, yeah, you could do more, Sig. You could actually, Fever 2, 15th, and 7th have actually good characters for you. Puyo 2, Fever 2, 15, 7, they prove you could do more. You can actually do things. You gotta have fun and stuff. You can actually are pretty good. No, I'm just gonna be a baby. Amity. I wanna touch a pee-pee. Like, no. Like, Sig, don't stand around. Just do more things. I wanna learn more about you. But, yeah, that's the only real flaw I have, in my opinion. Also, the lack of development with Strange Clug, but let's say that for later. I don't remember this character's name. Once again, you have to go to the Nexus Wiki. Oh, Cockatern. Cockatern's his name. So, Cockatern, You're in a very, good position. You're fun, you're mildly interesting, you're a cute little chicken. I think too much for you though, but I can understand why Sega didn't really bring it back. Now, I don't remember this character too much, but he is fun. He is very underrated, but I'm gonna check for a second. Momomo. Momomo, man, you're so good. You're honestly a funny character, interesting character, a cool demon design. Sega hasn't brought you back, yet you're so adorable and amazing. But, like, you don't really have too much character development, and I hope that Sega will eventually bring more character to you, because you're decently underrated, and you really deserve more praise. Because I feel like you're at least cool, you're edgy, but you have a soft side, and I hope Sega just decides, hey, let's bring this character back and actually do some cool dynamics with him. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I hope he returns soon and gets that actual character development. Now, Strange Cloak. Sorry, man, but you're pretty overrated in my opinion. Sure. His dynamic with Sig is super amazing. And it's actually pretty good and really amazing. But beyond that, he's just used and then thrown away. We don't really learn more with Sig with that. We don't learn more with him in Sig. We don't see too much of the Cloak's spirit anymore as well. We just see a character who's just been possessed and it's woo, somewhat scary, woo. He looks somewhat gayer, woo. Yeah, like that. And yeah, just not too interesting, but if he had more character development, he could just be up to great, if not epic tier, but currently he's stuck in good. Frou-frou, frou-frouing fun, yeah. He's a funny merchant. The fact that he's in Madu Saturn and actually has a decent moveset is pretty good. And he just he's just so funny. He has a lot of cool dynamics. And he's a pretty funny fish. Not great tier, but I'm at least willing to put him above. I don't know if I should put him above Strange Cloak, but he's at least good enough to at least make it a great good tier so that he's a really good character. Incubus. Incubus. I really have to think. Shocked Incubus is on here and not Succubus, but not too much of a problem. I think he's just a cool tier, very low cool tier in that. Just not all that interesting. He has a love gimmick to him. It fails, and it's somewhat funny. I do like it. Though he just doesn't really have enough character to stand on her own. Like, yeah. Like, yeah, you really want to have some funny moments? There you go. You just have a few funny moments, and it's cool that he has funny moments, but really wish that they were more sustainable, more character development, you know, more actual fun stuff with him. Instead of just, and hey, look, if Yandere Dev doesn't just want a goth Yandere as his waifu, Yandere Dev can ask for a more cuter and simple for like, hey Fel, I'm Yandere Dev, and I want you to be more kinkier with me. Like, she's like, yes, I can transfer to a fucking angel. And that's all I basically have to say, because there's nothing else to say. Just Yandere Dev's waifu, but not as goth. Samurai Mole. Really, I think it's a cool character. He's so badass, and he's just a cool, funny character. Just doesn't really have too much character development, though, but man, he really is cool. He just has a lot of fun moments, and just so much in terms of being badass, but he just doesn't have that much character and isn't appearing that much, which is why he's pretty just cool. Barrett, very mid-tier character. Cute chic design, but nothing beyond that. I think maybe I could put her in below cool, just because cute. Or, I don't know, mid. I think I'll just compare her cool, because it's cute. It's very cute. It's huggable. But there's nothing too much. It's very boring. Cerilli the Siri. You belong in meh tier instantly. Way too soft, way too boring. just very not good. He's just like, I'm so soft, a mermaid. Like, no, you're not Aro. You're not Ariel from the Little Mermaid. You're not. Your softness isn't really compounded by anything more. You don't have any curiosity. It's just like, I'm all shy with no other character. That's a problem with Sega's characters. That applies to Puyo's characterization, though not as much, and especially Sega's characterization. Like, oh, so soft and so shy. Like, no, soft and shy is boring. It's bad. It's yucky. Honeybee. Just very mid character. Funny, cute design. There's some funny moments. I think it's just pretty cool. But not overall character. Overall character just not that great. T belongs in great tier. Belongs in great tier. Just overall a character I just think is a very fun character. Lots of character development. Him as a leader. He's a leader and very stoic, but at the same time he has a very casual side to him. I love that. It's so cute that he just acts like this and knows how to manage stuff. And it's so cute. X. Epic tier. Instantly. Up there with very much Satan as a pretty epic character. Just overall a character that has a lot of fun to him. He's depressed, and that's a character development that I honestly think more Puyo characters should use. Because a lot of them just evil for the sake of evil. Ooh, I want to destroy this world because Ellie's wanking it too much, or you know, ooh, I want to destroy the world because book. Wow. Or oh, I want to destroy the universe because fun. Well, X, he's just depressed. He actually has motivation for why he is like this. He is just a sad character, and a character that needs help and comfort. And it's kind of cute just to see X finally realize that he is loved. He has some good memories, and that even being depressed, he could get out of it and still be happy, even during the most depressing times. Very relatable and cool. Komodo Dragon. Very cool character. Very unique design. With a wizard. Very funny. I would say like a caveman in a more modern society. But only really appeared in Puyo Sun. That's it. But no, nothing more. Raku. Another character that falls in the cool tier, but I think he's just way more cuter, he's way more fun. Just a good dynamic character for Amity, but then he just disappeared, had no character development, couldn't talk, wish he could talk, but I just think he just is a character that should have more purposeful utilization because there's potential for him, but for now, there isn't really that much for him. Gonna put him out there because he's just kind of cute. Skeleton T, pretty. I'm just gonna put him up in great because he's just such a funny character and very meme-like. Just so. Yeah, he's just so funny. He actually has a good character development. He's so chill, but yet he has such an angry side to him, and it's very funny and great, and it's just so like unique. And it's just so chill. I also find him to be a good practice character as well for when trying to make changes as well. And it's just overall very fun. I hope him and his skeleton friends from Puyo Puyo 7 return because he's overall a pretty funny character and a character that I wish could return very soon. Carbuncle. Great tier. Not nearly as good as O because he just because I think the problem with O and Carbuncle is that they both can't talk. I wish they can talk so they can actually have good character dynamics. But Carbuncle is specifically more problem because Sega is just trying way too hard to make it cute. Like Apollo era, pretty cute, really adorable. Viva era Carbuncle, probably my favorite design overall, just so unique, so swirlish. Actually is very adorable in my opinion. 7 Carbuncle, also really adorable. That he just has a little bit of a cute pudgy face to him. He just has a little bit of imperfections, but overall good. Modern Carbuncle, Puyo Puyo 20 onward, just feels a little bit more Disney-fied. You know how Mickey was very you know, filled with tons of removing all the character from him. Carbuncle Kai feels like his character has been removed as well in future games, like the design with the character, because because compile era to Puyo 7, he was pretty adorable and I loved him, but now it just feels like a very corporatized Disney-like design of him. I wish they could just put him back to Fever era or compile era design, but that's just me. No-Ho-Ho, pretty great character. Funny and pretty interesting. He is just a pretty fun character, and he actually has some cool unique character development. He actually has an allergy to curry, which, compared to characters like, which is actually more character development than stuff like Amity and Liddell got, so No-Ho has that above them, so that's pretty good. He's very funny, he actually is a good merchant, and he's just overall a very nice dude. I also like Frog, so that might also play into a bias. Akuma. A character that one of the most underrated in the series, because let me tell you that he actually played an important role with Sig. And people just don't mention it because he hasn't appeared since 15th anniversary. So he managed to get Sig safe. He managed to document all the stuff around him. He managed to do a lot of other cool things, and it's just overall a pretty amazing character. He has such a soft, ethereal voice, a very serious tone, which is good for the very lighthearted tone of Puyo. To have something at least a little bit more serious, you know? Something different, something unique, something more new, you know? Really hope that he returns in future games, but once again, like Ashura, I just don't see him returning. In fact, I think it might be Ashura back. Darksig. Darksig, cool design. Darksig, very existence. Darksig, very just exists. Darksig, no development at all. Nothing. Very much nothing. Darksig, really non-existent. Not with Strange Cloak. Darksig doesn't even interact with Strange Cloak at all. That's a bare minimum I was expecting from him. Darksig, just cool design, nothing really more. Shanzo. Shanzo. Epic tier. Very much a character that I love in Tower of the Magician in Compile era. Compile era Shanzo was epic. He was just a very badass dude. He had morals, but he was so badass because he could break them anytime he wants. He actually had goals and reasons to do things a lot of the time, compared to a lot of other characters, which just happen to exist because they do exist. Rather disappointing that he got downgraded, because he still has good character development moments every once in a while. But 50th anniversary onward played way too deep into the sexual words aspect of him. And being a sexual word guy was always kind of a thing, but that was mostly because of his speech impediment. But now, he just kind of he just can't help but make sex jokes sometimes, and honestly, that just kind of takes me out of the character a little bit. That kind of sucks. I think it could be used once in a while to add some cool funny to him, but it's used a little bit too much in the gimmicks, kind of a little stale. Pakistana, he's a pretty good character. Really funny. He's unique. I like the radish design. He's a really cool radish and actually has some useful weapons and stuff. He's really cool. He's a very dig-it-down merchant. He actually does have some cool funness to him. It reminds me a lot of I think it's a food mascot. I don't know which one, but it's still rather fun and unique. Really hope he returns in the future. Catsith. It's Catsith, alright. Adorable cats. They talk. They copy each other. They get confused maybe. But that's pretty much it. Archin. The other annoying preschooler. That just has a bow and can kill people, which is a little scary because a preschooler can kill people with a bow. Apparently, and Archin just have bows and do things. Not all that fun. They're just very annoying characters overall. I've already mentioned this apparently previously, but no, just very annoying. Archin also pretty annoying. Frankly, if they appeared more, I could possibly put them in poo-poo tier, but since they barely appear at all, meh tier is where they belong. Chincho. Cool character. She was introduced too late to the franchise to really get that much out of her. Cute dynamical dragon. Actually has some backstory with her and having all this training and stuff. And she's drawing and having fun, and then just compile and Sega never utilized her at all. I really wish they did, because she could possibly make for a pretty great character with some deep dynamics. Possibly with the good tier even, but currently... Okay, that's right. But now, the moment people are gonna dread. Ah, no! Oh, he's so precious! I'm gonna wank it! Ah! Okay, guys, let me explain for a little bit why I put her in poo-poo tier. The only character in poo-poo tier, in fact. Well, let me just say, first off, love and yeah, love isn't a comparable for personality. It's not a personality trait. You can't just have that as your one personality trait to expect people to love you beyond, oh yeah, so cool, she's acting cute. Like, no, you can't. You just can't have that. You should have more depth than that, but no. Unlike literally other character where I could see potential, there is none for her. There is absolutely zero for her. A shitty character. Thank goodness there's a hate base, because God forbid if we see this character go beyond Puyo Puyo Teachers 2, and I hope she gets retconned out. Hope her and the rest of the Grimp get retconned. You know, Grimp, Primp. Oh, amazing dynamic name, you know. Yeah, I hope her and her book world get retconned out of Puyo soon, but knowing Sega, that's not gonna happen. Overall, really shit character. When I review the Puyo Puyo games in the future, I will probably go more in depth, but I mean, this is going on for a fucking hour. I need to speed up the pace a little bit, but yeah, overall, crappy ass character. Very boring. Very crappy. No development. Nothing. She's an even more bland version of Liddell, which was a bland version of Amity, which was already bland enough. Really the triple bland. Now, let's get concrete. It's a pretty cool character. Just a character that exists. He has a giant thing going on with him, but it's not used at all, so I don't get it. His cooking's decent. He does some good cooking stuff. Other than that, though, I don't see too much. He's one of the few dark-skinned characters of Puyo, so I guess I can at least give him that merit. But other than that, he's just a character that isn't utilized all that much. Only appeared in Fever 2, shockingly enough. They couldn't even use him in more than one game, which is sad. Because he does seem like a cool character that could potentially make for fun in other games. So, now we get to Jay and Ellie. Let's put them, like, around. I think we're just gonna put them in cool tier. Just you and Red, they have a pretty cool dynamic. They are pretty much together all the time. They're scared. They have a lot of fun adventures together. They're so energetic and fun. They just can be a little bit annoying, and they just remind me a little bit too much of you and Red in order to really feel happy. Make them feel like they can stand up on their own too much. But still, they have a pretty cool designs. They are decently fun. Overall, pretty cool characters. You know, I'm just gonna put him in good because why not? Next to Grave, he's in the great tier. He's a funny, unique character who has a pretty good personality. He just has a lot of funny moments. He is very, very good. And just overall, he's just a very funny character. Wish he was used more as a mascot. And was overall a very funny character in the grand scheme of things. Because it just adds a lot of mystery and a lot of fun. And overall, he's just a character that I feel like if they ever want to add more humor to Puyo, he's just one of the characters you should bring back. Because, yeah, he was so funny in 15th. And it's pretty good. Ballanders. Pretty good character. Adorable as all hell. And my god, he just has so much cool character potential, but it's kind of wasted and not all that great. But I still feel like he has the potential to be very cool, and he's very adorable as well. So, yeah, I could definitely say that he's just a dog, though. I don't necessarily think he's gonna have too much character development, but currently, he's actually pretty cool and kind of badass as well. Like, just imagine having a night dog you could use to protect yourself with, you know? He's overall a character that I wish I could have some more fun dynamics with him and have a little more character development. Now, I guess. Controversial, but he belongs in mid. He's just a little bit too bland. The RPG concept with him isn't all that utilized all that well. He just feels like a lesser Shanzo, which sucks because the RPG mechanics could possibly make for some interesting stuff with him. And honestly, I just can't see any way he could really grow. Madu-san had him fine. Puyo-san had him fine. Puyo-en had him fine. Chronicle was okay. Overall, just a pretty mid character overall. Not exactly one I would consider great, but just very Amity. No, Red Amity. This is more slightly above Amity because I kind of prefer the design of Red Amity and the long jacket and stuff. But other than that, there's nothing. Nothing good, nothing really bad. Just a unique, cool character design that could potentially hint to lore, but Saiga's too lazy and thus won't do lore. Whew. We spent over an hour just talking about Puyo characters and seeing if people get pissed at my opinions. Let's save this because it's cool. Log in to save your tier list. I think I'm just gonna save this as a screenshot and post it on Twitter. I'm gonna go edit this video now and possibly upload it, but for now, let's just say I'm just gonna put stuff like yeah, says questions this and that. What are your my tier list? Here is a video for more explanation. Okay, that's good. I've done some more fun with it, and I'm gonna be heading out soon. So, see y'all later. Bye. New Jibber Jabber. It's pretty cool. And let's see y'all another day. Bye.